Now 5:30, so we will open our meeting. This is our first meeting of the month of May, so Cinco de Mayo, everyone. We're happy to have you with us. Our first order of business will be to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and we'll have invocation by Alderman Vaughn, and then a moment of silence. So if you would stand with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Alderman Vaughn, if you would, please, sir.
Let us pray. Good evening, Heavenly Father. Good evening, Lord Jesus. Good evening, Holy Spirit. Good evening, Heavenly Family. Again, Father, as always, as a few of your handmaid servant, which you allowed your angels to watch over all night and all day today. And then, Father God, you allowed your angels to direct us back to this appointed place to handle these business. But we thank you because you're the almighty, all wise, all knowing, all powerful, all seeing, hearing, understanding God. Praying, God, that you would be with this man, this board. Father God, that our decision, Father God, will please you. Lord, we just pray that you would conduct us. Bless us all to conduct ourselves decent in order. But we thank you, for giving us a privilege to serve the city. Lord, it's in the mighty name of Jesus we pray. We give all honor, praise, and glory to you, just because of who you are and what you are. And just because you are our God, and we your servant. You are our Father, and we are the children. Thank you for controlling our destiny, not leaving us in the hand of no man. It is in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. All right, once again, we appreciate everyone being here tonight. We will move forward with approval of the official agenda with consented items. Do I have any changes? Alderman Moreland?
No, ma'am.
Alderman Sistrum?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Alderman Skinner?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Alderman Brooks? Alderman Pope?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Vice Mayor?
No, ma'am, Mayor, thank you.
Alderman Vaughn?
No, ma'am, thank you.
All right, if none, then I need a motion to approve with the consented agenda items.
Move approval.
I have a motion from Alderman Pope. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Alderman Skinner. Thank you so much. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? All right, motion carries. It is unanimous. And with that, I will read the consented agenda items. First, we have consideration of the minutes of the April 17th, 2026 work session of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the City of Starkville. Next, we have consideration of the minutes of the April 21, 2026 recess meeting of the Mayor and Board of Aldermen of the City of Starkville. Then under Mayor's business, we have consideration of a resolution authorizing the lien for 12900 Mississippi Highway 182 as provided in the attachments. Under board business, we have A, consideration of approval of a non-binding resolution to adopt and allocate funds for an outdoor fitness court as part of the 2026 National Fitness Campaign. Under engineering, we have consideration of approving task order number 7 for Neil Schaefer, Inc. for a topographical survey of Eastleigh Boulevard in an hourly not to exceed amount of $14,000. Number 2 is consideration of approving the professional services agreement with Tunnel Spangler and Associates, Inc., TSW, to provide planning and schematic designs for the Eastleigh Boulevard multimodal transportation project for an hourly not to exceed amount of $29,960. 3 is consideration of approving task order number 6 for Neil Schaefer, Inc. for a topographical survey of Jackson Street in an hourly not to exceed amount of $10,500. 4, consideration of approving the summary change order for the Sudduth Bus Stop project in the amount of $425 with Groundstone Construction, LLC. 5 is consideration of approving the Right-of-Way Technology, Inc.'s proposal for right-of-way services for the Spring Street North Phase 3 TA project for the not-to-exceed amount of $28,000. Under number 6, we have consideration of approving the sole source quote from Precision Concrete Cutting in an amount not to exceed $30,000 to remove sidewalk trip hazards from Jackson Street, Montgomery Street, Greensboro Street, and Whitfield Street. Then we move to Human Resources. Number 1 is request authorization to hire Edward Klein Kemp Jr. as Starkville Oktibbeha Consolidated School District's SOCSD 21st Century Community Learning Center 21st CCLC grant intern in the Airport Department. 2 is request authorization to hire Logan Wyatt Croner as a Starkville Oktibbeha County Consolidated School District's SOCSD 21st Century Community Learning Center 21st CCLC grant intern in the Fire Department. 3 is request authorization to hire Shanice Oswald as an intern human resources and Kylie Tuggle and Jayla Evans as Starkville Oktibbeha Consolidated School District's SOCSD 21st Century Community Learning Center, 21st CCLC grant interns in the HR department. Human Resources Department. 4 is request authorization to hire Carson Sitton as police officer, pre-academy, and Roger Roadheaver as code enforcement officer in the Starkville Police Department. 5 is request authorization to hire Xavier Harris and Robert Dunn III as Starkville Oktibbeha Consolidated School District's SOCSD 21st Century Community Learning Center, 21st CCLC grant interns in the Starkville Utilities Department. 6 is request authorization to hire Dallas Gillespie as Starkville Oktibbeha Consolidated School District's SOCSD 21st Century Community Learning Center, 21st CCLC grant intern in the Municipal Court Department. Request authorization to promote Jack Miles to Chief Water Treatment Operator in the Starkville Utilities Department. And request authorization to hire Tiffany Allen as a wastewater treatment operator, Class 1 in the Starkville Utilities Department. We move to parks. Number 1 is a consideration to approve the lowest quote of $15,750 from Pyro Shows, Inc. for the July 4th community celebration at Cornerstone Park. 2 is consideration of approving the sole source quote from Precision Concrete Cutting in an amount of $5,924.44 to remove sidewalk trip hazards at the Cornerstone Sports Facility. Under Utilities Department, we have number 1, consideration of accepting the sole source quote from Reliability Point in the amount of $14,638.21 for a 1,200-foot cable for the CCTV system. 2 is request authorization to reject all bids for construction of well number 9 and to re-advertise. 3 is request authorization for approval to amend the grass maintenance agreement from Everyday Land Management. 4 is request authorization to declare a Skag Liberty Z 61-inch zero-turn mower, serial number N7700407, as surplus and sell on govdeals.com. 5 is consideration of Esri software renewal of licenses for existing GIS software field maps used for both electric and water system mapping in the amount of $6,256.78. And 6 is request authorization to advertise for source of supply bids for the electric and water divisions of Starkville Utilities with the intent of awarding the source of supply contracts for July 1, 2026 through December 31, 2026. And that completes our consent agenda items.
Thank you, Mayor.
It's my pleasure, always. Next, we will move to announcements and comments, and I want to personally thank and thank on behalf of the city our legislators. They have gone sine die, I believe is how you say that, or is that how you say that, Vice Mayor?
Yeah.
It's okay.
No, I didn't
The
see
close of
language.
the legislature.
Yeah,
Anyway,
okay.
whatever that Latin term is.
I didn't
Anyway,
hear your word
they are
first.
done for the year, and
Yeah.
they were very helpful to us. And I just wanted to make a public appreciation comment to Rob Robertson, Bart Williams, and Sheck Taylor for all they did on behalf of the city of Starkville to help us with funding for things that are obviously incredibly important, such as our wastewater treatment plant, as an example. So I did want to do that publicly. I also wanted to commend all of our departments, and most especially our police department, for the immediacy of the response this past weekend on the work that they did to secure and provide an area that is safe for our Cotton District area in response to obviously the issues that we had the prior weekend. And they did in 5 days what they were going to do in 2 or 3 months of preparation. So it worked out well. I was out there with them, and we had a good number of folks that came up and said that they felt as though it was an appropriate response, and that it was giving them the sense of comfort that I believe everyone wants to have throughout the city. So I want to commend, and the departments that participated. Our sanitation participated, our street department participated, our fire department participated. But obviously it is our police department who coordinated all of that and made it happen. So thank you so much, Chief. I do appreciate that. And then I did want to mention that our community market had over 900 people for our start of our 2026 season. It was a great day. I am out there regularly and love to watch people come and enjoy the community. So I did want to give props to the folks who managed that and did a wonderful job on it. So and nothing further from me unless somebody tells me I've forgotten something. So Alderman Moreland, anything?
No, ma'am.
Alderman Sistrunk?
No, ma'am, thank you.
Alderman Skinner?
No, ma'am.
All right, Alderman Brooks?
Just a couple of things real quick.
Sure.
I need to second what you said about the police department, and the way they handle things in the Cotton District, that being my ward. I've heard nothing but good things, Chief. It's been very positive feedback, so I commend you guys on what you did and getting it done so quickly. And I know a lot went into it, meetings with the restaurateurs and the stakeholders up there, but what you did was, really made a difference. And thank you for that from me and all my constituents there. And speaking of the Cotton District, just real quick, just want to say we had a real successful Starkville Derby on the 25th. Lots of little winter dogs running around, and from all accounts, maybe $75,000 was raised for the Humane Society. So it's a very good event, and it was absolutely standing room only. If you've never been, and when it comes back next year, I urge you to go. It's quite an event. Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, sir, absolutely. Alderman Pope?
No, ma'am. Thank you.
Vice Mayor?
Yes, ma'am, Mayor. Thanks for the recognition. And let me just kind of rewind here. It wasn't clear what you're asking me, but I knew the answer to it. But thank you, Mayor. I appreciate you greatly. Thank you for the moments of a personal privilege here. Let me just take a few moments here this evening to focus upon the funeral service and the visitation service for our former executive administrative assistant, Miss Vicki Hampton, who did a very marvelous and an exceptional job for our city. And I mentioned to the mayor this evening, and let me just kind of mention this because I think it's very relevant this evening, and I'm going to fast forward some other comments about it. I mentioned to the mayor, and she used to work that I made a timely congratulations when I used that word, and I did. And we are very unfortunate about the demise of Miss Vicki Hampton, who gave her all in all to our city. She served in a very distinguished capacity for our great city of Starkville for a period in excess of 10 years and 6 months. And let me just reflect just a moment, because the city had scheduled through the mayor and her office a retirement reception for Ms. Hampton on Thursday, the 30th day of April of 2026. And I mentioned to the mayor that on Saturday morning, the 21st day of March of 2026, just was thinking about Ms. Vicki. About 10:41 a.m. that morning, I sent her a text, and glad I did, and just want to share it with you, just some of the components of it. And I start off by saying, "Dear Ms. Hampton," and I said, "Congratulations upon your retirement from the city of Starkville, effective April 30, 2026. And I went on to say that that you provided excellent work, excellent service, and excellent assistance to our city of Starkville. And I informed her that we appreciate all the services rendered by her, and that she served in that capacity with the highest level of professionalism." That's what I told her. "And the highest level of distinction, and with first class." And I told her that you will be definitely, absolutely, and greatly missed. And I went on down, Mayor, in closing, I'm going to give you a copy for your file, Mayor, maybe tomorrow, the next day. And I went on down and told her, I said, "Well, I greatly and sincerely appreciate you. Thanks for everything. Ms. McLaurin," I signed it off on it, Vice Mayor of the city of Starkville, Mississippi. And she replied back, Mayor, very graciously. In the first paragraph she had said, Ms. McLaurin, was this. She said, "Vice Mayor, I could not have received a more sincere, gracious, and," this is the word, "heartfelt message on this beautiful Saturday morning." And she thanked us, and she said she learned a lot in her role as executive administrative assistant. She said that she will forever cherish all the fond memories that she had with the city. And she went on to say that she learned a lot, and she thanked me, and she said, "Have a very awesome day." So I just wanted to share that. We didn't get an opportunity to say anything to her, but I wanted to share that. And Mayor, let me go on and close this out. I'm going to start off with the funeral service and I'll get to the visitation. Mayor, I want to thank you for your very on point and excellent comments that you made during the service as a special tribute. You did a very phenomenal job in the audience. I shared that with the mayor at the conclusion of the funeral service. I shared it with her again after she arrived at home, and I'm sharing it with her publicly tonight because she deserved to hear that. I mean, you get up there and the church is full, and the moment, the situation, and she delivered on it, and she's to be commended. I said, Mayor, you represented all of us. Of course, I didn't think any different. And after the mayor spoke, and the husband, he panned the room, and he was looking to see who was going to call next, and we had our former two-term mayor, Honorable Parker Wiseman was present. He was called. He went down and gave some very good remarks. So. And let me commend those who I saw at the funeral service. If I miss you, you're to be commended as well. Then I'll get to the visitation. The gentleman from 7, Alderman Vaughn, I want to thank you for your presence at the funeral service. And Mayor, and I didn't see anyone there. I'm mentioning this because I'm getting on to someone that's in a former department here. I didn't see anyone there from your municipal court clerk department. I said that to say Miss Shalonda Sykes. She's our former municipal court clerk. She was there, and we appreciate her. I saw Mr. Christopher Smiley. Thank you, Mr. Smiley, for your presence there on the day of the funeral service. I saw his executive administrative assistant, Ms. Denisha. We saw her there. And then I also saw a member of the staff of the utility department, Ms. Tiara Cole. So the vice mayor just want to appreciate that. Ms. Vicky would, the family appreciate that. I talked with the husband about, as a matter of fact, Mayor, he asked me for a copy of that text, and his wife had shared it with him, and he said, Vice Mayor, would you give me a copy? I said, more than happy to do it. But back to the funeral service, Ms. Tiara Cole, Mayor, that's all I saw there on the day of the service. And as to the visitation service that was held the day before, I understand that my distinguished and honorable budget chair was there. I knew that she would be. She just attend these things. She's very supportive, and she knows how important it is to do these things. And then, let me get down to the last department head that I'm aware of, the gentleman from 7 that I know that attended any of these services. And I understand that our very distinguished city clerk, the Honorable Miss Joanna McLaurin, the daughter-in-law of my good friend who's going on now, the Honorable P.C., none other than Honorable P.C. McLaurin, who served with me from 2001 to 2009. What a great job he represented District Ward 3. He was phenomenal. And then accompanied you from your office was Mr. Webb Corbin. And I want to thank all of you for taking the time out. It means so much to the family when we go out and support them during their time of bereavement. It was their day then. It's going to be our day and through some family member down the road. So I just wanted to say that. And Mayor, that's all I have for now. And it was on my heart to say that. Ms. Vicky and I work very close together, and the mayor's aware of that. And so just wanted to just take the time and say these things. So Mayor, I yield. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Alderman Vaughn.
Oh, Mayor, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, next we will move to citizens' comments. This is the opportunity for citizens. You have 3 minutes. They're timed by Ms. McLaurin, and you may come give us your thoughts, your compliments, concerns, and we are happy to listen. Mr. Turner, always lovely to see you.
Good evening to the mayor and board. My name is Alvin Turner, Ward 7. To the mayor, to the police chief, to the fire chief, to sanitation, and to our NACP president, Dr. Jefferson. We have a couple concerns. Miss Patty Draper, she has been paying through the nose. We having a water problem. She's 70 years old. been having a water problem with clear water, then brown water, then clear water, then brown water, and she is a type 1 diabetic. Jack and myself, lad, we kind of concerned about it, but that she been doing the best she can, but she wondering why she have clear water, brown water, clear water, brown water. But I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Also, if the chief could, that I lost a friend some years back. He was cleaning his gun, it was automatic, and he did not know that a bullet was left in the chamber. And could you do a presentation on how to be safe with these automatic weapons? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. All right. Anyone else?
Good evening. My name is Pastor Jerry Jefferson, and I want to thank you, Mayor, Board of Aldermen, for giving us this time here. And I stand here representing our local NAACP, where I am the president. And we are here with concerns, of course, about what went on in our park here this weekend. And I understand that the accolades that I heard all of you giving the chief here a minute ago, and we do as well. We think they do a great job. But the thing is, we just want to make sure that it's a consistent job that he is doing. Now, we understand that what went on in the park, we just have to be real about it. It was a white police officer and a black umpire. And right here in the state of Mississippi, you understand, we are under the microscope now. This is not just a local thing. This is a nationwide. It's on all the networks and TVs and these particular type things. So how we handle ourselves is very important. Now, the NAACP concern is, as you said earlier, about out here in the Cotton District, and they did an awesome job. They arrested everybody that was involved, and they charged everybody that was involved. Now, here in the park, when we see the video, we see the video, and we don't think that it was some more people involved that was not arrested. That should have been. We seen the umpire being attacked by 2 other individuals. And we, the NAACP, need to know why aren't these people's names and why aren't they being charged? This is very, very important. When we're dealing with a black-white situation here, things can get out of hand in a hurry. So it's up to the Board of Aldermen, the City of Starkville Police Department, the Oktibbeha County NAACP to see that we meet every area of this and with fairness. And we're upset about it because we don't think it is done fair. From what we read in the paper, it's talked about it was charged with fighting, not in self-defense, and all of that. We understand that how it got started, but we have a chance when things happen to walk away. And when we refuse to walk away and to interact into that, under the same rule with the fighting not in self-defense, when it talks about excessive force, it said even if attacked first, using force beyond what is strictly necessary to stop the threat or to escape. He had ample opportunity to walk away, but he didn't do that. But he kept, in here it said, if you continue to beat someone who is subdued, and this person was down, and the
Pastor
turn,
Jefferson,
and you go from being a victim
That's your 3 minutes, sir.
to an attacker.
I appreciate that, and thank you for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you.
Mayor, can I ask him a question?
Vice Mayor?
Mr. Reverend Jefferson, come up back to the podium. In regards to your comments, and certainly, as you said, and I likewise appreciate what the police department has done and is doing, how they handle the Cotton District. But and I understand your point, and certainly I'm confident in that the chief is going to do that, and hopefully that's going to pan out because as you are correctly stating, we have a very zero tolerance for crime, and we don't want to tolerate crime nowhere in this city. Nobody's above the law, And everybody who commit a crime, we want them to be charged with the maximum crime. And I tell the chief this: we just have a good professional talking relationship. You know, we love our city. We live here. We in this community together.
Yes, sir.
So you're correct. And I'm not saying it has not happened, you know, but I just want to make sure this is heard publicly. Everybody who was involved in any infraction, whether that on the Cotton District, yeah, they did right in the Cotton District. I mean, they violate the law. The chief did a great job, and the same thing needs to happen here now. I mean, and in the north side of town, the south side of town, the east side of town, the west side of town. So we need, and I'm not saying it has not happened, but everybody who was involved, we need to give them the maximum charge.
Yes, sir.
And when it goes through this judicial system, we don't need no charges dropped. We want the maximum prosecution. If somebody out there received a serious bodily injury, it needs to be upgraded to aggravated assault. If that was the case, I'm not saying that.
Yes, sir.
If it was a serious bodily injury. So, you know, your point is well taken, and I stopped you there because as a member of this community, as a lifelong member of this community, a member of this board for almost 33 years.
Yes.
And you know, and we're going to continue to make sure everybody's comfortable in this city. And I'm sure the chief going to be consistent. I have every reason to believe he is, but we need to get that out to the public, just like we do at all other prior press conferences, just like we did the Cotton District, just like we do everything else. This needs to be gotten out to the press. It's on the New York Times. It's all over America. And so we need to let them know that we know in Stark, Mississippi, how to and the chief going to do that. I know that. I'm not saying he's not. But we need to let them know that we know in Stark, Mississippi, how to take care of business. We're going to make sure everything is done right, be consistent. So when we are consistent, then we're free of unwarranted complaints, if any.
Yes, sir.
So I just want to appreciate you for bringing that to our attention. It's just a housekeeping matter. I address housekeeping matters with the board all the time. And we just need to be consistent. And again, if anybody got any serious bodily injuries, they need to be upgraded.
Exactly.
And the charges don't need to be dropped, don't need to be minimized. Whoever committed, if 5 people involved, if they threw whatever they did, they need to be held accountable according to the law. And I also want to encourage the district attorney to get involved if a felony was committed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's an elected official. If a felony was committed, if any, I'm not saying it was.
Amen.
But I just want to thank you for bringing that to our attention. I see all these people here, and I just want to say, as their vice mayor and their alderman, I appreciate their presence because this is what we are for. When citizens come to wherever they live at, we're going to hear from them. We got other citizens we'll hear from tonight. We're going to hear from them.
Yes,
that's why we're elected to fulfill this role, and we're going to do it effectively, correctly, properly, legally, and according to the law. And I'm going to continue to do that, and we're all going to strive to do that. But thank you for your leadership, for your role, and for what you're doing. And thank you for bringing us to our attention, and we appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Mayor, thank you.
All right, anyone else wishing to speak?
I almost feel what I'm about to say is redundant.
Well, if you give us your name, please, you're welcome. You got 3 minutes too?
Okay, my name is Lisa Wilson, and I stand before you tonight on behalf of the Oktibbeha County NAACP regarding the disturbing incident that occurred this past Sunday during the youth baseball game in our city. We are deeply troubled not only by the violence that was captured on the video, but also by the severity of the injuries that were sustained by Mr. Jeff Akins. Reports indicate that Mr. Akins required hospitalization and surgery in Memphis due to the serious bodily harm that he suffered. These are they're not minor injuries, and they shouldn't be treated as a minor matter. We acknowledge that the authorities initially classified the incident as a mutual altercation and issued misdemeanor charges. However, based on the extent of the injury sustained, the Oktibbeha County NAACP believes that this case warrants a more thorough and an elevated legal review, and we firmly call upon the appropriate authorities to upgrade the charges to reflect the seriousness of the harm that was inflicted to Mr. Akins. This community deserves transparency, it deserves accountability, and it deserves confidence that the justice will be applied fairly and equally, and regardless of a person's profession or connections. We are especially concerned by the reports confirming that one of the individuals involved was an off-duty deputy sheriff who has since been terminated from his position. When we entrust those to uphold those that are involved in acts of violence, the public trust is shaken. The community is watching closely, and we're paying close attention to what is happening and how this matter is being handled. People across the city are asking those difficult questions, but they're necessary, about the fairness, about the accountability, and where there may be a deeper issue, it must be addressed within our systems of institutions. Incidents like these do not happen in a vacuum. However, the leadership responds in moments like these. It will determine how the public's trust is continued, strengthened, or even eroded at this time. The Oktibbeha County NAACP is not here to flame division. We're here to stand for justice, for due process, and the protection of every citizen's civil rights and human rights. We believe that our city can respond in this moment with fairness, accountability, and unity, but only if the truth is fully addressed and justice is pursued without any compromise. So tonight, we stand with Jeff Akins and his family. We stand for transparency. We stand for equal justice
Ms.
under
Wilson,
the law.
That's our
Thank
that's the
you.
3 minutes. Thank you
Thank
so much. We appreciate your sharing.
I'm almost feeling guilty because I know there are a lot of big issues facing the community. And my name is Pam Warnken, and I'm here for an issue that is important to me as a citizen and taxpayer. And I did hear in the minutes tonight the mention of hiring for the Code Enforcement Department, which I greatly appreciate. That will bring the staffing up to what it has been in the past, a couple of officers. But I just want to say that I'm surrounded by some derelict properties where I live, and they're not just a little bit derelict. They are major issues, and in a way, public safety issues, because there are some health hazards involved with these properties. So I'm here tonight to just make a plea to the board to please keep the staffing of code enforcement up. I mean, I know that we probably can't have one code enforcement officer per ward. That might be asking too much, but we could probably have maybe a little bit more admin support for them, a little bit more follow through. The issue that I'm working with right now has been kind of on the books for quite some time through several code enforcement officers, and it just doesn't seem to get to the point of resolution. So I would like to see more staffing, more support, and real fining of people who do not take care of their properties in town. And I'm talking about rotting rodents, all kinds of problems that are practically coming in our back doors in my neighborhood. So I would appreciate you guys helping us with staffing and follow through in code enforcement.
Thank you, Ms. Warren. Anyone else?
Good evening, Mayor, Board of Aldermen. I'm Cindy Thompson, and I actually live in a neighborhood with Pam, and we have provided you copies of the condition of the house. As you know, we live in Starkville. We love our neighborhoods. The condition of that house is bringing our property values down. It does not speak well for the neighborhood, and so we've provided you copies. I've also provided you copies of our HOA restrictions. He's violated all of them. And as Pam mentioned, this has been an ongoing issue, and all we're asking for is a support to do something about this, because the house is in terrible repair. Jennifer Winfield, the wife of the attorney, she walks her dogs every day. She has witnessed dead rats in the driveway of that house. And so we ask your support and help us get this situation taken care of. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ms. Thompson.
Good afternoon.
Good evening.
My name is Sandra Ware, and I live off of Reed Road on Sadie Ware Street. We've been having a lot of problems with the bus drivers, the city bus. coming through our neighborhood too fast. On April the 15th, an incident happened. An elder lady was standing out behind my car on the right side of the road as you come off of Reed Road. She almost got hit by a school bus.
Ms. Ware, I'm gonna let you go ahead and finish, but were you talking about a school bus or the smart bus?
Both of them is coming through. The school bus almost hit the elder lady. I went to the superintendent office that day and left a message for him to call me, and then I came up to the mayor's office. Mayor, you was out that day. I talked to the engineer. He came out on the 17th of April. He put this bumps down to see how fast the cars was going. And then we didn't have no sign stating how much the speed is in our community, not even stating that children live in that community. It's getting to be out of control. When I did my petition, a child had been hit, to my knowledge. We're asking for speed bumps over there. We need them.
Thank you, Ms. Ware.
Uh-huh.
All right. Ms. Hospitality, make your way up here.
Good evening. My name is Presley Bassett, and I'm the 2026 Miss Starkville's Hospitality. I just wanted to come and say thank you for supporting me as I participate in the State Miss Hospitality pageant. I've already had so much fun serving in this position, and Starkville means so much to me, and I cannot wait to share that with the other people within this state. Thank y'all so much for y'all support and y'all's time. Thank y'all.
You're very welcome. Thank you for coming up. All right. Anyone else? Anyone else? All right, I'm going to close it as citizens' comments, and we will move to our first and only public hearing. Mr. Havlin. Thank you.
This is VA 26-03. This is a variance request by Alice Carol Caldwell for fence height requirements at 403 East Gillespie Street in a TN-E zoning district. The applicant has requested a variance to allow the construction of a 9-foot fence on the western side of the side yard. This request exceeds a maximum height of 8 feet. According to the applicant, the fence is intended to provide privacy protection from the adjacent property's condition, including ongoing construction activities, structural deterioration of the neighboring structures. Right here below, this is an example of the fence that they're proposing. It meets all of our development standards as far as like a good neighbor fence. It doesn't really have a bad side. Both sides are the same. Here are some images provided by the applicant showing the condition of the adjacent property that she's trying to screen. There are 6 criteria for variance review and approval. Staff analysis of these criteria include the special condition. There is evidence of a unique condition affecting the property. Literal interpretation, strict enforcement of the fence height limits would restrict the applicant's ability to mitigate the privacy and the safety concerns. Hardship, this is not a self-inflicted hardship. Special privilege, allowing a 9-foot fence could grant a greater level of enclosure than typically permitted in the residential district. Minimum variances, there are no other variances being pursued. In consistency with the comprehensive plan, this plan does not conflict with the broader land use goals of the comprehensive plan. So based on that analysis, or that criteria and the analysis, staff is in support of the request. 13 property owners of record were notified directly by mail of the request. A legal ad was published on April 4th, 2026 in the Starkville Daily News and a sign placed on the property. As of this date, planning office has received 2 phone calls requesting additional information and 1 letter, which has been included in the packet that was submitted by the adjacent property owner. On April 22nd, 2026, the Board of Adjustment Appeals voted 6-1 to recommend approval of this request. And I think there are some other pictures that were passed out. These are some additional pictures that were part of the packet showing the construction work on the side yard. And these are pictures of the structure that she's trying to screen out. And this is a view from inside the home. They've already kind of started building the fence when they realized they probably need a permit. So they checked with the city. Normally you don't need a permit for a fence, but if it's above 7 feet, you do. So when they submitted the plans, they realized it was above 8 feet, so that triggered the variance request. So that's why the fence is kind of half built structurally there. But you can see what the intent of the fence is and what they're trying to screen. And this is just a views of the neighbor's yard. If there are any questions.
Any questions of Mr. Havlin?
I got it.
Alderman Vaughn.
Mr. Havlin asked the same question I asked Friday. Is this normal for us to do this? All my time on the board, I never knew that we did this, because if we do this, this is not going to set nothing but a bad precedent. Next thing you know, they're going to want 10 feet. They're going to want 11 feet. They're going to want 12 feet. Is it normal for us to do this?
I'm trying to think back. I think since I've been here, I don't really recall another fence request for a variance for height. But I would admit this is a rather unusual circumstance, mainly because that structure that's next door is really, really old. Like, it's one of the oldest structures in Starkville, the one that's kind of fallen down. And I mean, it's right on the property line. I mean, it couldn't get any closer without being in our backyard. So I understand the purpose of the request, but no, this is not a normal thing.
What is our code enforcement saying? What are they doing about it?
I haven't had any conversations with them about the property.
I think the code enforcement need to look at this and handle this before we make a decision on something like this. I yield.
All right, thank you, Alderman Vaughn. Alderman Sistrum.
I have a question about the need for the height, and I wasn't clear originally, and I'm guessing.
Can I interrupt you because Ms.
Ms.
Caldwell
Caldwell
is
is there.
here, and maybe she would like to share.
Either can answer the question, but from looking at the pictures that were submitted, it looks like a regular 7-foot fence or even an 8-foot fence, still from the interior of the house will give a view into that backyard. So is that the reason for the variance? Is as much from the inside views as exterior?
If you would come up, that'd be great, so we could have you at the microphone. Thank you, ma'am.
I'm Alice Carroll Caldwell, and I live at 403 East Gillespie Street. I asked for the variance because there is a historic cookhouse there, which I loved. I tried to buy. My neighbor tried to buy. It is deteriorating. Anytime any of my friends come, they say, has the cookhouse fallen down yet? Because it is about to fall. Can you show that picture again? Yeah, that's the cookhouse. It was listed in the Overstreet survey. It's one of the oldest buildings here, and it has broken my heart to see what it is. But it's about to fall. Parts of it are falling in my yard, and the 9-foot will keep. If it starts to fall, it will keep it from falling in my yard. The other thing is they have built a wonderful back porch. They have a chimney. They have a place where they can cook, and it will give us both privacy. That's what you can see there. That's looking out of my kitchen window now. You can see the, is there a close-up of that, or can you see it? Go back to the other one. Okay, and go on. That one. Okay, this is what I look at out of my kitchen window. Okay. So.
Did that answer your question?
It did, but in addition to the fact that you need that full 9 feet to screen it when you're
Right,
inside.
It will be about the same size, same as their back.
It also helps in case the building does
Right.
topple. Okay.
And it will give us both privacy.
Anything else, Ms. Caldwell, you'd like to share with us?
I would like to say that at the variance board, both of us were there, my neighbors and myself. And you said it was 6-1. That night they said it was unanimous vote to allow the 9-foot fence.
Mr. Dickovich corrected his vote after he said it was unanimous.
Okay, understood.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you very much.
ma'am. Any questions, Alderman? Sorry, Vice Mayor?
I'm going to direct my question to Mr. Havlin.
Sure.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yes.
Mr. Havlin, that vote was 6-1.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I want to follow up to the comments from a distinguished colleague from Ward 7 and also the budget chair about the height. I have concerns about the height as well, Mr. Havlin, because if we grant this request, we're going to be opening up a floodgate of potential requests in the future. Now, it's my understanding that the opposition that came from your board was from one of my colleagues. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right. Matter of fact, one of my colleagues from Ward 5, and he served with me on the board from 1993 to 2001. And his opposition is same as mine, and he articulated that to me, and that is that if it sets a bad legal precedent here. If you open this up for 9 feet, like the gentleman from 7 said, someone may come in for another 9 feet request, or 10 feet, 11 feet, or 12 feet. But it seems like that the concern here is a code enforcement issue. I mean, all of the things that are of concern to the petitioner can be rectified with the utilization of complete services to be rendered by a code enforcement officer. But we must realize that our code uses the word shall, be 8 feet, and that is a very tall fence. And of course, that was the intent of that was to ensure that that was high enough at the time to shield any sight or any view that was undesirable. But the legal question, in my opinion, that this presents is what is or are the legal ramifications if this mayor and vice mayor and board of aldermen approve this the request? And the answer to that question is that there's an amendment in the Constitution referred to as the 14th Amendment, and it has a clause called the Equal Protection Clause, which means that all persons that are similarly situated must be treated similarly. And if we grant this request and someone else comes and asks for a similar request and we deny it, I think then our decision would be certainly in violation of that clause, and it would be viewed, in my opinion, arbitrary and capricious. So that's the problem when you have a request like this and you grant it, because it opens the floodgates. So I just wanted to bring attention to my distinguished colleagues, because this has serious legal ramifications. And an 8 feet fence is allowable. And well, Vice Mayor, what are you saying? I mean, why are you against an additional foot? Because of the law. Because of Mayor.
The vice mayor has the floor. No, ma'am. And when I open it up for public hearing, then you may at that point in time, if you'd like to come back up.
Thank you, Mayor. And Mr. Haviland, so that's the point. So we have to be really careful. We saw all these pictures that, we must follow the law, and all those things that are shown in view. I mean, I would think there are a lot of neighbors that would like to have that potentially, but we have a very effective system in place that can deal with the things that are concerned to the petitioner, and that is through code enforcement. So I think, matter of fact, that the 14th Amendment really something we need to be real careful about. If we do it for one, then if someone comes at a subsequent meeting, say, well, I want a 10 feet fence, then if we don't grant it, I think that would put us in a very vulnerable position in the eyes of the law. So these are the reasons. I've seen all your photos from all angles and from all directions, and I'm still not convinced from a legal point of view, and that's my basis of my objection. Mayor, I yield. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I'm gonna need to open it as a public hearing. May I go ahead and
we
do
haven't
that?
done that.
And-
Yes,
and
ma'am,
then
go
that will
ahead.
Inform further discussion,
Go
if you
ahead.
would, please. All right, Mr. Havlin. All right, anyone wishing to speak to this, I'm opening it as a public hearing. Now would be the time, either for or against. Ms. Caldwell, if you have something else you wish to say, now may be an opportunity for you to do so.
Yeah, we have built it 6 feet to the back of the house. We have built it 6 feet to the back of the house, and I'm asking for the granting of the higher fence back there. As far as their house, all of their windows of their house, there's only a 6-foot fence. So where I'm asking for the granting of the higher one is so that we have the privacy of their back. You see how tall their back porch is. And so my fence would be a little lower than that. And also to hold up the cookhouse, which is going to fall.
Thank you, Ms. Caldwell.
Thank you.
Anyone else wishing to speak, now would be the time, either for or against. You wait, that's okay. Just wait till you get to the microphone, please, ma'am, so we have a record.
I'm Pam Jones and a friend of Alice Carroll Caldwell, and she has a lot of traffic going in and out of her driveway. A lot of friends come and sit on the back porch. The neighbors have been saying for many years that they were going to fix the cookhouse and bring it back to a standard building, and they've just never done it. And they're not going to do it anytime soon. They may do it, but it's probably not going to be within the next 5 years. But it is an eyesore. And also by Alice Carroll's driveway in the front, they've got a bunch of, well, I think it's debris, but it's not to them evidently, but it's an eyesore right there by her driveway. And they've got it covered up now with black garbage bags or a tarp, because some people had taken some of the things thinking that it had been put out by the curb to be taken, to be thrown away. And it seems to grow every year, every week, with something else in it. And so that space is very unsightly. And yesterday they put up a saw on Alice Carroll's side, right there by her driveway. And they're working on the porch. And she has asked them to put the saw on the other side so that it would not make all the sawdust come to her front porch, because we use her porch a lot. So I just would like to see you approve the variance
Thank you, Ms.
for
Jones.
many reasons. And then to reiterate what Pam Working said about the code enforcement, about that stuff being on the street right there.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
It blocks the sidewalk sometimes.
Okay. Thank you so much. All right, anyone else wishing to speak to this matter under the public hearing? Seeing none, I will close it as a public hearing. Alderman Moreland, I saw your hand.
Yes, ma'am. So I do understand the vice mayor's concerns about the law, but I do feel like this is something that we can do off a case by case. And I do understand why she is wanting to put the fence up, and it is not going to be the entire length of the property. It's just in the back portion, to where I don't think it would affect anybody but her and the property owner beside her. So I make the motion to go ahead and approve the variance.
Okay, I have a motion to approve the variance from Alderman Moreland. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, that was stereo. Alderman Sistrunk, I believe I heard you loudest. So, all right, I have a motion and a second. Further discussion.
I would just like to say
Alderman
that
Sistrunk.
the vice mayor is absolutely correct in his thoughts that we do need to be mindful of making variance exceptions. And it is something that we do need to look at on a case by case basis. Our legal standing for doing this and the protection that we have the next time this comes up is it has to be a similarly situated situation for us to consider using this as a precedent for that next variance. So my neighborhood, for instance, the houses wouldn't have that elevation issue that you have there in on Gillespie.
Alderman Vaughn, I saw your hand.
We better understand what we're doing, because if we're gonna do this way, we might as well get ready to do it for any and everybody to bring a variance to us for 9 feet. When the ordinance, I always say all the time, we make the rule, we make the order, but we be the first one to break them. So we be the first one to break them.
All right, thank you, Alderman Vaughn. Well, I think the points are certainly accurate. There's a reason for a variance, and we do allow for variances. So that is one of our ways to respond to different circumstances within the community, and this would be one of those. And I think Alderman Sistrunk's point of similarly situated is accurate. I think the board can articulate a rational basis, or a rational basis has been provided for it. So without any further discussion, I have a motion and a second to approve the request for the variance. All in favor? Answer yay or nay as the city clerk calls your name.
Alderman Moreland.
Yay.
Alderman Sistrunk.
Yay.
Alderman Skinner.
Yay.
Alderman Brooks.
Yay.
Alderman Pope.
Yay.
Vice Mayor Perkins.
Nay.
Alderman Vaughn.
Nay.
All right, the motion carries. Thank you all. Moving next down, we have the request for enrolling all Starkville Utilities customers in the power of change and allowing a voluntary opt-out of the program effective July 2026. This was not put on consent because it was something that was brought up at the work session, so without it having been on the agenda, thank you, Alderman Vaughn. Without it having been on the agenda, I think it's appropriate for us not to have put it on consent since it was not on the agenda at the time we had the work session. But we did have a presentation on it. So do I have a motion?
I would like to move approval.
Alderman Sistrunk, I have a motion from Alderman Sistrunk, second?
Second.
Second from Alderman Moreland, and this is, well, discussion. I can say, this is one of those things that helps the community. It is a small measure. It is a roundup opportunity, or if you wish to do more than that, you can do that. But that requires an active opt-out, but in this case, it would go to a fund that would assist our citizens who are having difficulty paying for their utility bills. And so I think it's a worthwhile program. So I appreciate Alderman Sistrunk bringing it forward.
I'd like to note that in the presentation Friday, for people who weren't there, the Starkville Community Foundation gets funding from an assortment of sources. Some of it is church support. Some of it is from our opt-in program that we have right now with the Power of Change. Some of it is from other agencies. But they have enough funds to help about 5 people a week. They get questions. They take calls for people who need assistance with their utility bills, and Stacy Parvin, who handles this, says that on a low week they'll get at least 100 requests for assistance with utility bills, and in really high usage times they'll get 300 requests per week. So there's not a lot that we can do. But this is something that we can do that will allow us to help our community and people who struggle with their utility bills. It also provides those people who either can't afford it or don't want to do it for one reason or another, the ability to not participate. So all they'll have to do, I think Mr. Kemp said that they could make a phone call, they could do it through their Smart Hub application. There may have been another opportunity or two for opting out, but I think it's a really good program. 4 County does it, and this is how they manage theirs. So I would appreciate that we consider it.
All right, anything further? All right, without that, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Okay, motion carries 6-1. Thank you. And then Finance Administration, we have a claims docket. Could I get a motion?
Move approval.
A motion from Alderman Sistrunk, second from Alderman Moreland. Was that? Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Motion carries. Thank you so much. All right, if y'all will indulge me long enough to read the call of a work session, and we can take a motion to recess. First, it's in accordance with the notices required under Mississippi Code annotated 254113. The board will have a work session on Friday, the 15th of May, 2026 at 11 a.m. That meeting will be held at City Hall, second floor conference room located at 110 West Main. Notice should be provided of this work session within 1 hour of this meeting by posting such notice at City Hall. Notice for the work session should be made a part of the minutes of the board meeting. The work session will be an open public meeting of the City of Starkville, and the public and press are invited to attend. Could I get a motion to recess, please?
So move.
Thank you, Alderman Vaughn. A second?
Second.
Second from Alderman Pokup. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you. We are in recess. Thank you, everyone.